All right, it's raining again, no surprise, but kind of gonna do a little bit of a after the fact progress update video here because it has been crazy. We have lazy bovines in the rain, but behind them is a field that is planted with corn, which was no easy task. So we'll talk about that right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rouse the Oliver Man, and this year has been a strange occurrence. There was probably, I don't know, 1 week in April when it was really nice and a lot of people got stuff planted. However, everything I had was pretty well too wet. Then it was not good for almost the entire month of May until this last week, where there was about 5 good days to try to get everything done, including all your hay and then as much stuff as you could get planted. So we started the week off on Monday, I believe it was, and I cut this hay. Then Tuesday we started in doing tillage as best we could. It was still pretty wet, but I thought if we could get it opened up, we would have, you know, a chance of getting something done. Now it's gonna start raining so hard I can't be out here. So, worked on that. And then of course there was the video where still working on that the next day. We had some trouble with our bearings going out, but we got that fixed. Got it all opened up so it could dry. Thursday was hay all day, baling, raking and baling. And then Friday, we went back to doing the planting and whatnot. But it was just an all-day affair, doing fertilizer and everything, trying to get everything done. If I would have had one more day, I could have probably done it by myself. But not having that and realizing that it wasn't and not wanting to waste my effort, I got my cousin, the Oliver 770 farm boy. He came over with the 285 white and his planter that is not particular about the size of the seed, because I would have had to get plates for what I got, and I didn't have time for that or to fool with it. So if he could do that, good deal. So we ended up doing that in the dark, and he got that planted, and time will tell how that comes out. But yeah, so it's been nuts around here trying to get stuff done. And I got, I guess what I'm trying to say is, despite not feeling good still, because working continuously for 5 days did not do myself any favors, that thing right there caused me a lot more work than I should have done. I should have just baled about, 15 or 20 bales and let you see how that was and moved on. But I didn't do that. I baled over 100 of them, I guess, by the time it was done. I came out here one night in the dark and picked up everything I could on the flatbed trailer. Still had a ton of them left. I got them stuffed in that livestock trailer for now. And then I have this many left over that I didn't get picked up and they got rained on. But they're gonna go out and be feed right away. That's no problem, because I've got some busted ones around. Especially the stuff up here, they weren't the best from the first trial where we had so much trouble, getting it going. So if I lose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 or so, plus the busted ones, that's not too bad of, we'll just feed them now. I try to keep hay out all year so they have something to eat. So we'll put those in the rings and they can munch on that, no problem. Then we have let's see, how many round bales did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4. I started picking them up in the dark and I don't remember. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the ones I got put away, I'm not exactly sure even how many I got. Like I said, it's been non-stop from one thing to the other. Get off one piece of equipment, go to the other, keep going. I was gonna move some more, but now it's raining, so. The only good thing there is this might come back and we might get second cutting off of it. I would like to fertilize it and do the, you know, some overseeding. I don't know that that's really the time of year to do that, but with as much rain as we've had, it might be. That's actually more here than I thought. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 right there. There's 10. That one is going to be a feed right away bale because the baler's sure to pin or something, and then I couldn't wrap it with string, so it's going to come apart. So we might as well get rid of it right away too this summer. So it's going to be out there. But that would have been 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 bales. And that's not bad considering that this is not fertilized and it's just basically fescue, most of it. So, and it's not all that big. That might be, the camera might make it look bigger, but I think that that piece on the other side of the fence is like 9.5 acres maybe. So, and then this is probably half that. I don't know, but whatever. I mean, I've had worse. That's not too bad. Plus there's some out here that I didn't. It was dark and they can just eat that. I'll turn them in here and they can clean that up. It would have made like a half bale, and is that really worth it? Probably not. We'll get them in here and they'll munch on that. Everything is just wherever it was, you know. I just had to unhook it and go. I needed the other tractor, so sure. Buddy the dog, what are you doing? Another cool thing is during all this, all my lawn mowing has been severely neglected, so that's going to be fun the next time I do that. But here's the garden update. People asked about that. We've got potatoes coming up. We've got some beans here. We've got some more corn. We've got the first corn, which is getting pretty tall. You gonna walk right through that, Buddy the dog, or are you gonna eat it now before it's ready? We've got more beans. This sad little mess, I'm afraid, did even one cabbage survive? I was thinking there was one left, but it just did not do good. It got way too wet. I think that something is, yeah, there's the other one. It's dead, so I can get rid of this and, you know, start over. We've got tomatoes and peppers. They all look to be doing pretty good. We've got our onions. Some of those are probably getting ready to pull up and munch on. And I got some more onion sets from the CT farm boy he gave me, and he said just shout out in a video. So we'll have to get those and try to plant them in here and, you know, see what happens with them, whether they become anything or not. But anyway, it's coming along better than it was. We'll switch to the golf cart since it has a canopy on it. So basically, everything should still be ready to go. I got those back and fueled up so they're ready to hit it next time we head out. I actually have 2 new tires ordered for this because it's only a matter of time before these outside 2 self-destruct. I don't know if we can see. Yeah, you can kind of see there. There's some section where you can see cords. So yeah, it's good for another 2 or 3 years, but not really. I thought it'd be nice to, you know, get that done. We got to fix the tire on this because it goes down for some reason. I don't know if the stem is bad around it or something. When you air it up, you can kind of, you know, feel there's problems. But I noticed something sad about Freddie. We lost a linkage pin somewhere along the line, and one 3-point arm has been dragging. And I'm wondering how long that's been happening, you know? It would be cool if we could find it back, but I doubt it. We could try to retrace our steps you know, we would have come this way. But let's face it, it's like a needle in a haystack. I don't think there's any way that we would find it, because we don't know where it fell out. It could have fallen out. You wouldn't think it would have fallen out that far away though, because I would have thought that I would have heard it hit the tire, like when I was turning and stuff, so. Oh well. Yeah, what a bummer. It didn't even really leave any kind of trail, you know, like a dragging on the ground trail, so there's nothing we can follow. And it doesn't look like it must have been very long, because it's not really, you know, shiny underneath. Oh well, more stuff to fix. Oh, Freddie. I think everything else has survived pretty good. The tires are up on everything. Kind of amazing, really. So basically, we've got a lot of work to do this week, as it rains every day, you know. We've got square bales to put up in the barn. We've got to move these rounds over with the rest of them, which that won't take but maybe an hour or so, probably, by the time you're going back and forth and whatever. So we'll get that done. And then, yeah, I would like to fertilize this, and, you know, I was gonna do that deal where we like aerated it and overseeded it, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Probably not the time of year to do that. Usually the spring or the fall is the better time. Although we're getting enough rain that it would be fine, you know, because we get so much rain that I don't know that it would hurt anything. But time will tell on that. Lots of idiot bricks in there. And our leftover corn, which is not going to get planted because there's just no way. It's late enough, and corn just isn't worth it. I mean, I think anyway. You know, when it's $4 corn, it's not worth planting it much past the end of May. So I think we'll just be satisfied with what we got done here. That's enough to have for feed and to be able to play with all of our antique equipment. And then basically around here, and I don't know that that's the way it is everywhere, but the cutoff day for planting soybeans here is the 20th of June. So that's our target now. Hopefully we can get it planted fairly soon and not be at that maximum, because they don't do as well. The earlier you can plant them, the better. And this year's going to be a late year. I don't like that, but I guess it's because we haven't had one of those for a while. You know, the last few years, been able to do it all pretty well by the end of May. Last year I finished on the 31st of May. And this year I just got something in the ground for the first time on the 31st. So not exactly what I'd like, but that's the way it is. So out there is ready for, I'll probably put some fertilizer down for the beans, and then it needs worked in one time. I like to work it in. Some people say it doesn't matter and they put it on afterwards over top, but I think you keep more of it if it's not baking in the sun. I don't know. Might be wrong on that, but that's the way we do it. So that will be about, you know, that'll be a good day's work right there. Spread it on there, and then working that in will probably take a couple hours or so. I don't know, probably take 3 hours. And then can probably plant it in 3 hours. So a good 8 to 10 hour day. We'll get that rest of this done. And then there's only 2 more places to go and start in. And it's gonna be a thrill, but gonna do what we gotta do, you know. Also, we'll probably be doing some wheat combining very shortly. Tried to move this the other day and now the tractor won't start, so that's great, you know. It's spent most of the year outside, which I don't like, but that's just the way it was, so I moved it around several times, but we'll get that going again and then try to figure out something to do with it, you know. Put it away, you know. Oh boy, now it's really raining. I haven't had time to go even to town to the store, like to get parts or anything in the meantime, other than the one day I ran to the deer dealer and got those bearings. I just have not had time to do anything. But I did get in the mail the engine kit to do this tractor. So we need to pull out a rod now and see if our piston pins are going to fit the bushings as they are, or whether I need to have new ones put in. I got a new set just in case. But this being a practically new motor anyway, there's a good chance that, you know, maybe they will be just fine. We can't do anything until we take it apart and see though, and that won't be very long to just pop one out. And like I said, then it shouldn't be too long. Sleeves and pistons and drop it back together. I ordered new rod bolts, or not bolts, but new nuts, thinking for some reason everywhere I check now sells those Nylock nuts. Agco, that's what they sell, and I just can't believe that. So I went on an obsolete parts place and I ordered some for the 88 with the 88 part number, which I think was K220, thinking that they would be the old style. Well, they were definitely from probably like the 80s, but they were the nylon style. So apparently they've used those for a good while, and I'm wondering if there's a service bulletin on that we're gonna have to hunt up and see if there's any instructions. I just want to make sure that there's not any extra drag that's giving a false reading on the, you know, when you torque them down. My idea is probably going to set it to the maximum, you know, whatever the range is, set it towards the high end to make up for the nylon. But I'll do a little more research before we get that far. But hopefully we can get this going in the next few weeks, because I would like to use this tractor. I very much like it, and it's been kind of unhandy not having it, you know. There's several jobs that it would be good for, so hopefully we can get that done pretty soon. Yep, idiot bricks. What was I thinking? Why did I do that many? Yeah, sure, it's gonna be nice to have some on spare, but that also means I gotta let my elevator down in the barn, and then I gotta feed them up there, and then I gotta go up there and stack them up there. I just created so much more work. It's kind of sad. I'm almost convinced to just try to sell them right off this trailer and then buy back a couple round bales, but that would defeat my purpose. I'll get it one of these days. We'll figure it out. However, it being there kicked the 1755 out of the shed, so not really liking that, but that is what it is. We need to do some work on this tractor too. Ever since I've owned it, the PTO has been messed up, and we tried to fix it, I don't know, last year or the year before. I had another PTO valve and I took it all apart, and you know, I thought I had it and it still doesn't do it. What it does, it doesn't keep running. So I think I'm gonna pull the power takeoff valve off of the 1955, since it's not a runner, and put it on here just as is and see if that fixes the problem. And if it doesn't, then we're probably gonna have to pull the PTO unit out and see why it's not working. I don't understand. I have good pressure back to the valve. Everything is good that way, but it just has to be in the valve, I think. I mean, I don't think that, unless the clutch inside is leaking so tremendously, but the tractor doesn't lose hydraulic oil that fast, so I don't know. I guess we will investigate that further in our free time, you know. Free time? Yeah, right. But that would be handy to have the power takeoff work on that, because then, you know, we could do stuff like grind with it and things. Also, we need to finish working on buildings, I guess, because the wind has decided to rip stuff loose again on there. So that's fun. Almost every year to have to deal with that. Whatever. Load of scrap I never got taken away. That's been on there for like 2 months. That's great. There's another project I really want to tackle. Just haven't had time. I need to get that 550 done of that guy so I can get this tractor in there and take the motor out of it and put a new oil pump in it and see if that'll fix our woes. Just enough that we could run it and drive it and use it, you know. If it uses a little oil or smokes, I'm okay with that right now. A running, driving tractor is better than a not moving, you know, problem tractor. So that's my plan with that. I have the new oil pump. I've had it since last year, just haven't ever had time to do it. So, yeah. I just realized some more sadness, other than my golf cart that's rolling away. I don't remember, did this tractor have 3-point arms on it when it came here, this parts tractor? I'm gonna have to go back and look at the video, because sadly enough, I could have probably used that pin for Freddy, but the only thing I see here is this upright arm, and I'm thinking that that's all it had, was just one upright arm. And I bet that there's no pins to be had anywhere. So that's a bummer, because, you know, why buy stuff if you've got parts on hand? And I don't have parts on hand, it looks like. So, and this thing needs to go away. It needs to get drug out to the woods or something where it's not right in the middle of my driveway. But there's an air cleaner for the 1850. Need to put that with it. Too many projects and not enough time. Buddy, what are you doing? You gonna walk away from me now? Sure. It's the next day. It's not raining anymore, at least right at this minute. So we might ought finish putting these bales away. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 still out here that need put away. And then there was maybe half a dozen or so squares out there I didn't get picked up, maybe 10. I don't know. And then these little busted ones, we'll feed those right away, so that's no big deal. But I didn't think correctly when I counted the bales, if I did a while ago, since I got like 100 and, what would it have been? About 120 or 30 square bales. So that works out to like 4 more round bales, I believe. I think we did the, I had a friend who did the, not the math, but he actually physically fed square bales into a round baler to see, and I was thinking it was like 33 square bales that make 1 round bale, but that's all subject to, you know, difference based on the type of stuff you're doing and density and all that business, but whatever. So basically what I'm saying is, if that rule applies, that took us up to, what did I say we had the other day? 18 rounds plus then, you know, about 3 or 4 more. So that would be over 20 off of maybe 12, 13 acres or so. Not the greatest, but not the worst I've ever had, especially since this has never really been fertilized. I spread lime on it last fall, and baby steps here, see, you know. That's what we're working on. So if we fertilize it now, is what I'm hoping, maybe we can get a second cutting off of it. So that's gonna be my goal. We won't cut that inner part the second time. We'll use that for grazing, but anyway, we'll see what happens. So let's get moving these bales, and then, you know, we can get somewhat back in order, because it just feels like chaos right now. Everything is not where it should be, and stuff is all over, and there's a million things that need to be done. So we're not getting it done by standing here talking, is what I'm saying. All right. Come on, oil pressure. There we go. We need to work on our loader too at some point. It's got a crack in it, I see. But we're gonna try to get done today. I got 3, 6, 9, 12 there. Now I need to move my wires over so I can get in from this side. I'd been doing half and half so I don't have to pick the whole thing up or wind up all that or have that all out here. So we'll take the half around, you see, and then you know what I'm saying. That's just the way things have been going. So that's what I'm gonna do now. It is a hot, muggy mess out here now after it's rained. And you might be wondering, why do this? Why like have bale stored in a pasture where the cows are gonna be? And basically, there's a couple reasons for that. Used to, we just kept them all down in that, what was the hog lot, where, you know, I'm sure you've seen me get some from behind there before. But whatever. The problem is, I use a lot more hay than what Grandpa did. He liked to try to stretch 80 back. Oh, camera too hot again. But anyway, as I was saying, he liked to try to get like 3 days at least out of a bale. Well, there's kind of a problem with that. When you've got more cows than what he was used to, like I have more than what he usually kept around. And that just was not working. And I found that it takes probably about 160 bales to get through the year comfortably. I like to have one for every 2 days. And I like to have some where I can even keep some out there in the summertime, you know, so that there's always something for them to occupy their time with. So it takes at least 120 probably, easily, and then more. So they won't all fit there. And another reason was sometimes in the year when you were feeding, you couldn't get through the ditch or wherever to put the bales and didn't want to leave them sit in the mud while they were out there, so the cows had to stand in the mud. So it was handy to have some up here on the higher ground where you could go in either way. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make before the camera shuts off again is it's handy to have some in 2 places so you can pull from either pile you know, plus it gives extra storage. And I found if you have 3 wires around it with electric in it, they pretty well stay out of there. Last year, something broke into there and they turned a couple of the front ones, but it still wasn't a big deal. So we'll get this finished and cleaned up, and yeah, we don't need to video anymore of me moving bales. You get the idea. But that's why they're in here where the cows will be, because it's just handier to have them closer to where you need to go. And then if you had a bad snowstorm or something, you know, you could even open it up and just let them in there if it was an emergency situation, you know, or roll one out 10 feet and go. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I do what I do, even though it probably doesn't make sense to most people, and you would probably do it a different way, but that's fine. You do it your way and I'll do it mine. Well, I got all the hay picked up, even the loose squares, so we should be good to go. I got that all taken out there. They can munch on that. And hopefully this week it'll quit raining and maybe we can finish our planting, you know, like plant some soybeans, the crop that actually makes money. So hopefully that will happen, and we'll just have to see and take what we get. So I guess that's where we'll leave this one. Do you enjoy seeing a basic white man in his middle 30s struggling at life? If so, hit that thumbs up and leave us a comment, because all of that stuff is supposed to help us out and grow the channel, and we can keep making more stuff like what you just saw. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.